So it's it. We're finally doing it.
This is the third attempt, I think.
Yeah.
There's two other recorded ones that never saw the light of day.
The hidden tapes.
The lost tapes. Maybe they'll come out one day.
There's way too much profanity in those.
Yeah, we didn't have the jerseys set up. We didn't have the corner. Like,
that's what we were waiting for. We had to buy all these
it
jerseys.
was unprofessional.
And the last time we tried to do it was we were like, okay, we're gonna do a trial run and then we're gonna get into it. But then something happened in the world where a lot of things kind of got paused. But
What was
now, don't worry about it. But now looks like things are coming back. Maybe,
Slowly.
hopefully.
Slowly.
For now.
We got a horrible plan by the MLB. We got a pretty good plan by the Jays. I mean, by the NHL, and we got a plan that seems to be on. It's a little wobbly for the NBA, but the NHL is definitely happening.
For sure.
That's the one. That's
those
the one
two
that
are
I'm,
happening, I think,
I'm
for
very
sure.
confident in.
Those two are definitely happening, and like we're barring something crazy, are finishing. The MLB, like, let's get into that because I think let's talk about the Jays first.
Okay.
Because they're starting pretty quick. Like their first game
24th,
is
I think?
next Friday.
Yeah.
And let's talk about a 60-game MLB season and how fucking electric that's going to be.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be unbelievable. That's like playoff baseball, like not to the level of playoff baseball where, like, you're on the edge of your seat for every pitch, but it's going to be, like, at, like a step below.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to, every game is going to matter so much more.
So I think
Especially division games. Aren't they still playing the same
They're
amount of
all-
division games?
They're all division games, I think, and then like you don't
then
play.
interleague against the
Yeah.
east of the
You
other
don't play
league.
any other division in your league.
That's like,
Yeah.
that sucks for us.
Yeah.
Actually, the Red Sox
Well,
have lost some guys. They don't
They're-
have Mookie anymore.
They had a pretty big scandal too. That's another thing. That
Yeah.
trade probably paid off for them now.
Yeah.
In hindsight, the Mookie Betts trade.
The thing is, though, the NL East is probably the best division in baseball.
perfect.
So the Marlins are like that'll be easy, but then you have the World Series champs,
Yeah.
the Phillies. They've underachieved the last couple years, but they are supposed to be good. The Mets should be better, and the Braves are really good. So you want to feast. The thing, if you're an AL team, you love feasting off those like AL Central teams, which the Jays aren't going to get to do this year.
Yeah. Imagine being in that division right now. Like if you're like the Kansas City Royals.
If you're the Minnesota Twins, you're
Yeah.
looking to go 50-10.
They're gonna. Yeah.
But
That'll be awesome. And they're gonna hit bombs.
Yeah. Donaldson's gonna hit 40 home runs in 60 games.
so the schedule comes out that they have like the Jays go to Florida to start off the season, which is definitely right where you want to go, into the heart of darkness.
Yeah.
They have a schedule out where they don't know where
Yeah.
they're playing. Like
To me, it makes absolutely no sense for them to be playing here. I get why they want to do it because they want their facilities and stuff, but I do not understand how logistically that's going to work.
So do you think they should just play in Dunedin?
Well, I get why they don't want to do that either. Maybe they buy some lights for Buffalo. Maybe just pull up some cars.
Because Buffalo's been talked about. Apparently, they don't have MLB standard lighting, which I don't really know what that means. Their game starts at like 6:30, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be light.
Do you think
out.
it's something
most
as
of it,
petty
yeah.
as like you're supposed to use a certain company, or like do you think that's
No,
by
they're probably.
stadium by stadium?
I feel like they're like. I wonder if they're
Probably like the quality of the
Yeah.
light.
I feel
they're
like
not
it's
bright
like
enough.
you can still play baseball
You'd-
there,
you'd
but
think.
Yeah.
but MLB players would like bitch about it because they're used to playing in like.
Well, do you think it's that, or
stadiums.
do you think it's a broadcast thing where you might not like it'll be
Maybe
bad?
that might be it too. Yeah, maybe it affects the broadcast. But yeah, I don't. What are your like? Give me a percentage of like a World Series champion gets crowned this year.
I think they're gonna do it.
30%.
You think it's that low, eh?
I think like 20.
Really?
I think their plan is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree, but I think they're just stubborn enough that they're gonna do it.
Here's
They'll
another
just
thing
push
too.
through.
Like, but you have like so schools.
That's a tough thing to push through. Especially if the NHL and the NBA are both kind of like
Doing
rolling
it
along
properly.
seamlessly,
Yeah.
and they're just getting case after case after case. It's gonna build up and like PR, like the PR. It's gonna be a PR nightmare
That's the thing. It's like what does like if you're just getting
because it's all gonna be comparative.
absolutely
comparatively
roasted by the public,
the
it just
other
doesn't.
leagues.
It's not in the league's interest. Like I understand they have TV deals that they want to get
Uphold.
revenue from.
Yeah.
You have kids going back to school in September, maybe in certain states, and then you have the
depending who has
players
that
with
say.
kids. Yeah, but you have like their kids are coming home, so they're like getting it at school. You go home to the players go to the like it's gonna everyone in the MLB is gonna get it.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any way they finish. Having said that, I actually am so excited about the Blue Jays.
Really?
Dude, it's just a young gun team with a pretty
You're
much
right.
brand new
They're gonna
pitching
be
staff.
they're gonna be a fun team to watch for
like
sure.
our pitching staff, like Shoemaker was like injured all of last year pretty much, and then we have Ryu.
Yeah.
Who just came. Is it Ryu or Ryu? I've heard it 3 different ways. I think it's Ryu.
I forgot that they even signed him.
Yeah.
Like, because that was so long.
We
That
have an
sounds
eight.
like
We
that.
have
It feels
an
like that
eight.
was 2 years ago.
Yeah. What, Brandon? You're our resident baseball guy. Who will be the 5 pitchers?
This would be my.
Chase Anderson's hurt now.
Oh, is he?
He'll be back like for the season, but he's not going to be there at the start.
Okay, we'll cross him off. So then
And in a 60-game season, do you run 5 or do you go 4 and just expand?
no,
the
they're not
bullpen?
going to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Because I just don't think you want to because you're gonna have such a hard time getting guys up to get their arms stretched out and stuff. I don't think you want to shorten their.
They're also
Put any more stress
the
on
new
their arms
rule
than
where
already
they
is
have
there.
to play 3 batters. Is that in this?
Yes.
That's in this
Yeah.
year,
Oh,
right?
it is?
Relievers have to come in and face 3 batters.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's huge.
Or
for-
finish the inning.
That's big for that.
So you can come in if you come in with
Sorry,
for the 3rd out and get 1 guy, then that's fine.
Okay.
Like you just said, as long as
So you
if
have to complete the inning.
yeah,
That's really all it is.
get 3 outs or finish the inning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or
if you
face 3 batters.
If you come in the 2nd inning, you have to face 2, or the 2nd out.
You
For the 2nd out, you have to get 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
but-
What do you think of that rule? How do you feel about it?
I think that's kind of been.
Because you're not really a baseball purist, but you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah, it's kind of been swept under the radar, I think, a little bit, or swept under the rug. Yeah,
so did
you're
the
right.
Astros.
You're
which is
right.
a
You're
fucking
right. Yeah,
joke.
I know.
They got away with murder. I hope they still get beamed.
Yeah, they might.
They're going to.
I'd probably be bad
I thought
luck
they were
too if
going to
you
set
had-
the record.
They
What
still
What
might.
do you think the record is for like players on a single team getting hit with baseballs?
like the amount of times.
Yeah, like once a game. Do you think it's
There's
162?
probably some guy who crowded the plate
There's some
all the time.
Yeah, and there's definitely a guy out there in the
Reed
base,
Johnson,
in
I
the
think, used to
baseball
get
community
hit
that
all the time.
there's somebody in the baseball community that counts that stat too,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. They count everything. It's like number of times he used Velcro shoes instead of laces.
Okay. Anyways, going back to this would be my 5 if I was picking right now.
Okay.
So, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
So Huey Jennings.
We're never gonna get this
Huey
far.
Jennings has been hit by pitch the most in MLB
Wow.
history, 287. So I don't know
In
what
a
that is.
single season?
No, all, career.
Okay.
Second, guy whose
Very topical.
son plays for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Astros legend.
Craig Biggio, 285.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give me
in his
Guerrero.
career, a Hall of Famer, I believe. Is he?
Yeah, I think he just got in
Yeah.
not too long ago.
He is second all time. But yeah, anyways, go ahead. Rotation.
I wonder if his son has that trait.
So
We'll see.
We'll
Ball
start
magnet.
Ryu would be number 1 for sure. Like your
he's your
offseason
ace.
signing, he's got to be there. Then Roark, who was their other offseason signing. Shoemaker, you mentioned earlier.
He was dealing in that intersquad
Yeah,
game.
and he was really good last year before he got hurt too. And that's kind of been the story of his whole career is he just can't stay healthy. Then the next 2 is where it gets interesting. Do you know is Baraki healthy now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Baraki would be 4 for me.
It's like, well, Chase Anderson would be 4, right? No,
Yeah. So I had Pearson as the other one,
Well, that's a service time thing.
but I think the rules have been changed for this season that it doesn't matter anymore.
So they're just gonna go with him. He's
Yeah.
in.
Plus that CBA is up soon anyway, so it's going to all change anyway. So I don't know how much emphasis they're going to place on that. So I would go Pearson and Baraki / Anderson. So Ryu, Roark, Shoemaker, Pearson, Anderson, Baraki.
and then Trent Thornton would be like.
Oh,
Right
bullpen
after
guy.
that.
Bullpen, yeah.
And you still have
And you-
Kenny Giles as your closer.
Yeah, and then Shun Yamaguchi's another guy he's kind of
like
like
that name.
their new Joe Biagini.
Do you think that they would just go 12? 5 guys get 12 starts, and then obviously deal with it
If you
as it goes
can,
down?
yeah, if you can.
I think you want to save arms too because you have to expect that you're going to be losing guys to the virus all
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, and so you're gonna want to plan ahead for that, definitely, because they have to do 2-week quarantine every time. It's like a 2-week injury. That's the way people are gonna start talking about
Yeah.
it. It's gonna be like, all right, it's a 2-week injury with quarantine.
A guy who I don't think barring a crazy situation where a lot of guys go down is not going to play this year, but Austin Martin, they moved Vlad to first. He's been taking all his practices at third base since that
I
move.
love that. I love it.
Do you how soon is Austin Martin playing an MLB game? Do you
This season is an asterisk, anyways.
I
Throw
think
him
that
in.
The only way he plays this year is if guys the virus rips through him.
yeah.
And they will.
I would normal circumstances 2 or 3 years probably.
Yeah.
That's usually what it takes.
But like, if he doesn't play this year, then you think he's like still 2 years away?
As a guy that
Yeah.
followed hockey all his life and like
So I think
and like football, like those are the two sports where like you can get a prospect in the first time. I would love to see it just to see how it would
think-
work because I've never seen it before.
I think
Who did it? Bryce Harper? I think.
No, he went all the way through too.
Did anybody? Who's the last guy?
So
to
the
have done
Jays
it?
have had, I think, 2 in the history of their.
Where they just drafted them
Yeah,
in.
I think John Olerud was one, and I can't remember who the other guy was, but there's been 2 in the history of their franchise. I think Griffey did it, or Griffey may have gone. Griffey's thing might have been he got there in his draft year, but he still started in the minors. Because I think he
Did
played.
Olerud actually start like day
Yes,
one?
I don't know about day one, but like he went from being
he-
drafted to playing in the majors
Day
with
one
no
would be so cool.
time spent in the minors.
He also wasn't 18 when he got drafted, though.
No, probably not. Neither is Austin Martin.
He's like 19.
Is he?
Yeah,
No, I think he's
so.
like
How many years of
21
college
because he went
did he
through
play?
Vanderbilt,
Oh yeah, you're right.
which is why his
He's
thing.
21.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he's probably 2 or 3 years away.
but yeah, I don't think he's gonna play unless some crazy stuff happens. But so the move with Vlad moving to first, like
That's a win now move when you think about it. Like,
for sure, and obviously they have like.
It was also evident he wasn't going to be able to.
No,
like,
I know.
like,
Is that,
it's just
like,
obvious.
does that
it was a
does that concern you that like he's like
yes,
it's just like you're a write off? Like,
Yeah.
you can't even adapt.
because he
to
is so
this.
much more. If you can get him to play respectable defense at third, he's so much more valuable there. Because it's so easy to find guys who can just
Like
hit
my,
and play
my take
first.
on that is like it doesn't negatively impact the team him moving to first because you're gonna have guys coming in and
No.
playing third base later anyways. But I don't like what that shows about him.
No,
It's like you
that's-
couldn't figure it out right away, or do you think he couldn't figure it out? Or do you think the team's just like fuck it, just go
Like
to
I don't
first?
know if you guys remember this when Edwin Encarnacion first got here, and he was
Yeah.
playing third, and he was brutal.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
look how long of a leash they gave him. He got like 3 or 4 years trying to play
And
third.
he
and
never
just-
really figured it out.
No, he didn't. But like with how brutal he was, and they were willing to give him 3 or 4 years, and they can't give Vlad more than a year.
But
and a
that's what
half.
I'm thinking. Like, do you think? I don't know if
I
it's
think
all
when they
just
when
Vlad,
they landed
though.
Austin Martin, they were like, let's just
Well,
get him in right
There's
now.
Travis
guys
Shaw.
in front of Martin too.
Travis Shaw's a really good third
Travis
baseman.
And,
Really good defensive.
Jordan Groshans or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Travis Shaw, if we want to segue,
Yeah,
into
we can
that,
move into that
go
now.
Into this the little Twitter drama that's going on with him.
Well, he's like, he's apologized.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
but
the standard move now. You say something stupid, you apologize right away, and sweep it under the rug, kind of thing. I don't think it was that bad. He just seemed a little ignorant.
I would.
That's it.
Like I can't blame him for feeling that way. I would probably. So should we like read the tweet that he had?
Yeah, let's read out what he said.
well, yeah. The thing is like, if you're playing here though, like if you're gonna play in Canada, like that's what it's gonna be.
It all.
right?
Yeah. Well, like, I think that comes down to the issue where they should not be playing here. Like either they should all be here or nobody should be here.
I agree. And then you have teams that, like cycling through.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Well,
even
like you
find
said, they're
this
playing the Rays and Marlins. So you got
They
2
should-
teams coming up from Florida.
They should honestly just build a field of dreams in Alaska and just send them all up to Alaska.
Like the
and-
Fight Island
yeah,
kind of thing.
and play it. Yeah, and just play it out like. You know how cool that would be? It would be. I mean, it would be definitely way harder than what they're trying to do, but I think it would be safer, and I think it would be more fun for all of us.
Yeah. So the tweet was in response to a report that if the Blue Jays do get permission to play, that they're gonna have to quarantine in the hotel and the Rogers Center all the times they're in Toronto. They obviously still get to go play road games.
Mm-hmm.
And then Travis Shaw said, "We were told 2 weeks, not all summer. All summer is a bit much." And then all
I think he
another
said
one,
that's not going to happen.
double
at
down.
some
All
point.
summer isn't gonna happen. Not an option.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he's setting the options.
yeah, like.
Like the guy in a
he's
1
the
year.
last-
Yeah.
yeah.
But
he's
the
the
thing
last
that I
little
don't
bit.
understand though is like, how has this not already been
the
like
final say.
discussed to you?
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, 'cause-
you-
Well, you said it earlier. They're like the MLB plant's a disaster. When
Yeah.
You think of it like.
Like you have to know that if you do get permission to play here, like you're getting
Mm-hmm.
the permission is coming with the deal that you aren't leaving that hotel. Like you're staying there the whole time. When teams come in to play here, they're going straight to the hotel stadium. They're staying there.
Yeah, like, I'm tired of people acting like there's not something fucking crazy going on in the world. Like, it's just like, oh, like, it should be, like, standard operating procedures. Like, yeah, sure, it's a shortened season, but it's still baseball. It's like, no, it's not still baseball.
Yeah.
There's a pandemic
And it's
going
even,
on.
like...
Let's get real here. Be safe or be sorry or just don't get paid at all and sit out the fucking season if you have a problem.
Even, like, regardless of
Trying to figure it out.
how crazy you think it is, you have to know, like, the government... The federal government is taking, like, just realize they're taking it seriously.
As much as I
right?
believe the players have a right and like they should be speaking out against it, like at a certain point you have to realize like everyone's trying to make this work, and like just the more noise that you're creating is it's just making everything more difficult.
Yeah.
I am a little bit sympathetic to what he's saying, though, because I think when you sit there and you're looking at it, everybody else can go out in public and be in groups of 50 to 100 people, but they can't. But the difference is they're not crossing the border.
But it's
all the
because
time.
you're getting an exemption from
Yes,
like,
no,
our
I
federal
totally
government.
agree. Yeah, but
like, normally you would just be not allowed to do what you're doing.
You're getting
right?
paid to play a
Of
game.
course,
Yeah.
of course. But like, I understand where they're coming from. Where
But that's the issue why I don't think it's going to work, because the teams in the U.S. don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like they can go out to the bar, like in Florida, like if they
Yeah.
want to. Like as
Go to
long
a
as
movie
as
theater.
long as they're not like in groups of more than like 50 people. Like if you
yeah, the whole team could go out to a
like,
bar.
dude, just bring me 49 friends and don't invite that next person. Then you can do whatever you want.
As for expectations, let's do a Blue Jays
Hold on.
expectations.
Segueing
around
off
the
that, I
horn.
thought there was another Twitter thing that I wanted to talk about.
Stroman Grichuk.
Yeah. Stroman kind of lit up Randall
Yeah,
Grichuk on Twitter like pretty bad.
Did you expect anything less though?
No,
he's like
but that was
he's a
Yeah,
shit talker.
but it was
extraordinaire.
like taking like your dignity away.
yeah, like
And like no one likes you in Canada. Like
Grichuk did, like,
everyone likes me more than you. Like it was just like childish.
that's like little
Like,
kid
yeah.
shit. Like
the only thing too, like
you're not
Grichuk
coming to my
didn't.
birthday party.
Grichuk agreed with an Aubrey Huff.
That's all he did was like a tweet.
Yeah,
like
right, which is apparently true.
yeah,
My dad, like Stroman's dad, could beat up Grichuk's dad. Stroman's dad's
Yeah.
huge.
But the bigger
definitely.
story is September 11th this year, not
9/11?
2001. The Mets
oh,
and the Jays. Whoa, that's when we may get
I hope he starts.
Marcus Stroman.
Yeah.
You know he's going to be asking to start.
Yeah.
Like Stroman is an absolute bulldog. He's going to be like, let me go at this motherfucker. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious how like high school
And it's-
that got.
yeah.
Like
I think
you're
I think
a loser
Grichuk
and
might
everyone
think,
hates you.
I think
too,
Grichuk might think that height is how you measure heart.
Yeah,
I think that's what Grichuk might
that
think.
might be what he thinks.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
And, yeah, he's wrong apparently.
yeah. I don't think the thing too is like Stroman's right. Like Grichuk is
not-
nowhere near the player that Stroman is.
Yeah, but it's such a petty thing.
No,
to
it
just-
totally
to
is.
bring
Yeah,
up.
for
Like,
But
sure.
you
no
don't just
reason.
like
sure
you don't just say that about
No,
like, you
of
could say
course
that about
not.
like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like you're not as good as you should have been.
You're not
Like,
as
okay. Why
you're
are you
not-
telling
yeah,
me
like
that?
Stroman? You're not as popular as Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Do you want him to call you out? Like,
You could like
Yeah, you're right.
argue that Stroman's not as good as he should have been either. He's definitely way closer.
Yeah.
But he's way closer. We can go back to the
You want to do around the horn predictions, hot takes, or predictions, whatever you guys want to say.
just for this.
If you want to give a prediction, give a prediction. If you want to give a hot take on what you think, give a
well,
hot take.
I think the big story with this MLB season, if it actually happens, is like it's gonna be really hard to predict anything because
so
it's
Yeah.
let's
60 games.
Like,
assume,
who is-
let's assume it's happening. For
Yeah,
these
no,
predictions,
yeah.
Just for the
But
sake
it's
of the prediction.
60 games, and like so.
60 games, young lineup. They don't know anything
saw
about
it.
us. They don't have any tape. They don't have
Well,
anything on us.
I saw this, and I can't remember the exact details of which team it was, and but it was a team that lost 100 games sometime in the last 10 years.
I
And
think
they
I know
had
what you're talking
They
about.
had a 60-game stretch that year where they went. I think it was like 38 and 22.
Wasn't it the
And
Rays?
It might have been, and the like projections for like the best record in the MLB is like 37 wins. So that 100 team, that's a 100-loss team. If they ripped off that 60-game stretch,
Would have been. They would have won their
would have
division.
been like probably had the best record in their respective league. So that's kind of shows you how unpredictable this might be.
How crazy it's gonna get.
So I think the 60-game things obviously helps the Jays because they're kind of an unpredictable team anyways because we don't know how all these young guys are going to progress. The thing that hurts them is the teams that they have to play. I'll make a prediction that they go 27 and 33.
27 and 33.
Yeah.
I thought I was
You're gonna be a lot more optimistic.
I
than
was,
that?
yeah. So I had them one game above 500, 31 wins.
You're going 31 and
Yeah.
29.
Yeah. In the hunt for.
Okay, let's put these on. These are on record.
Okay.
We'll call some sort of prize for who gets the closest.
I'm gonna
Alright?
be way wrong now. I can tell. They're
You're-
gonna
you
get
had- you-
blown out.
Ours are pretty close.
They're gonna be 20 and
Aaron could
40.
go crazy here, one way or another.
38 and 22.
Oh, yeah.
We're making the playoffs, baby.
That's like the best record in the league.
Woo!
Hey, like
I want something to cheer for.
No,
Did they?
It's not like we put anything on the line.
Did they
What do we got on
expand the
line?
playoffs for this?
No, they're doing the same.
Are they?
They were talking
I know
about
they were talking
doing
about
that, but
it.
I don't. Yeah. So 5, like those still have the wild card.
The Jays gonna
Let me just
win
make sure.
the big leagues.
Because
Those Jays gonna turn some heads.
anything else in baseball that you're just excited to see regardless?
If anybody has any hot takes other than my first place in the league hot take I just did, who do you think's gonna step up and really show the league what they're made of this year? Of all the young guys, who do you think the most likely
on the Jays?
on the Jays?
Well, I think if Nate Pearson's in the rotation, I think
as a pitcher?
yeah. I think it's up to the team if they want to. I mean, I feel like he's shown.
I'm
that,
such a big Bo Bichette guy. I want him.
Yeah.
I want him to blow up.
yeah.
So my bias kind of makes me.
I'd love what I want the most is I'd love Vlad to
home
just
run.
have a tear of a season. Just
Yeah.
put all doubt aside.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of doubt with him, and I don't even think most of it. I don't think it's all justified. I think some of it is.
He just hit for way less power last year than he should have, which
Yeah,
is
but
kind of.
did you see that home run derby? though?
Launch angle. You just got to figure out the
Yeah,
launch
I know.
angle.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But he did it in the derby.
He's just
Yeah.
got to get his.
He can hit a BP fastball.
Did he have his dad throwing to him in the?
No, I don't think so. I don't
the
remember
home
who it
run
was,
derby?
but okay. Here's just a little bit of a sidetrack here. Do you know he has 2 kids?
Vlad?
Yes, and one's like 2.
Junior.
Yeah.
That's like crazy to me. Yeah.
If you got an MLB career lined up, you can start early. It
He's
doesn't
like
matter.
21.
It doesn't matter. You can start whenever you want. You got the money coming in. When did Bartolo Colon start his first family?
You're right. That's
When
he's-
was that?
He's got 2 families.
So
on
you're
the
telling
job,
me
so-
the reason why Vlad couldn't play third base is because he has to take care of his kids?
Yeah, he can't sleep. He's got kids.
No, you can't work out so much and like get athletic.
Honestly,
when you
you
have
kids.
2 kids around.
Nobody else in the majors has 2
No,
kids.
that's-
Nope. And there, yeah, but nobody else has to make that kind of a physical body transition and have 2 kids. That's the difference
That's really selfish.
of the kids.
Yeah, just of everyone in the whole situation,
Of
the
the
whole
kids,
family.
yeah.
All right, well, Jays, I think we can go way deeper into their team. Like next week when we do the podcast.
When does MLB officially start?
So
Next
next
Friday.
Friday.
Next Friday.
So when we do this next week, it'll be like the day before their first game. So we can do like a big tee up the Blue Jays season where they're about to go 27-33. Another Toronto team that has had, I guess, a lot of news. Well, we have 2 others, obviously, but one there's like no news at all. The Toronto Raptors. The
Keeping
NBA
it
are
under
keeping it
wraps.
hush, which
No,
is
that's a championship mentality, baby.
they
They don't need to know.
that's a no reporters allowed in the bubble.
You're on a need-to-know basis with the Toronto Raptors.
The other team is going to be playing their games here, much like the Blue Jays.
I thought that was so weird. I thought they were going to switch it.
I heard they were going to do
I
that.
thought they were going to switch it.
but
I really did.
do the Leafs have to stay in hotels, or are they allowed to stay at home?
No, they're going to stay. You have to stay in hotels. Doesn't make any sense.
You can't walk. I don't think you can walk around. I don't know what the rules are.
They have to stay in hotels.
I don't know. To be
I
honest,
think
I
they
don't know.
do.
What he's saying is like, are they going to be in the hotels of their own homes?
Yeah,
I
like
think
the
it's gonna be
Leafs.
that.
Oh,
The
I don't. No, they're in a hotel. They're
Right,
at
yeah.
the,
Okay.
Remember they put out the list. I think they're at the Royal Yard.
Then I think it doesn't matter because it's not going to be home fans. I think it would have mattered if they allowed them to stay at their homes. It would have been unfair.
Well, it would have been more risky too for everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it just would have gave them a
'Cause they'd be
home,
out-
a
they'd be
home
out in the
advantage,
jungle.
right? Whereas now they don't really like. I don't think they're still gonna make them dress in the away dressing room when they're the away team. So,
But yeah, speaking of, I want to go to the bubble first because I find that more pressing.
the NHL bubble.
No, the NBA bubble. I want to talk.
Oh, you wanna go
I
to
want to
Disney
talk about the
World.
NBA. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, we're going to Disney World.
All right.
With the name on the front
over.
podcast.
That's
Can
gotta
we
be a
even
drop.
tell people what it was called?
We just did now.
All right.
That's gonna be like the Leo. He said the name. The Leo meme.
Yeah. So the Raptors, yeah, that's a very after the intro of that name, it's a very name on the front team. Not a lot of stars on the Raptors.
That's true.
We're a team.
We're
We're
gonna-
a team through and through.
they are going to be in the position of probably not having the best player in besides the first round of the playoff series they're playing. They're going to not have the best player
in the series,
in a
every series probably.
And like the old adage in the NBA is like the team who has the best player is generally the favorite.
Yeah, but we're breaking barriers.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
could.
these Raps are breaking barriers. Marc Gasol's jacked.
Oh, he looks
Mark's,
so good.
Mike's doppelganger, except you're not jacked.
He's doing
You
his
gotta
best.
get jacked.
No, Marc Gasol. When you told me, I looked at I used to be a little perturbed about that, but now after seeing these pictures of him, I'm like, wish I could look.
He's
like
like trying to
You
look
got-
like you now.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to slim down to look like Mike.
Wow, that was a compliment.
Yeah,
that
why don't you guys get a room
that
over
was a
there, and
huge
I'll talk sports over
That
here.
was,
How about that?
But Marc Gasol, do you? I think he was playing a lot. Obviously, he played all summer last year. He was in the World Championships, won the title, won a World Championship, then came right back into NBA spring training. Had some injury problems.
Shotgunned a lot of wine.
Yeah, he was drunk a lot of that time.
Yeah.
I think he was drinking rosé too, which
Yeah.
is like a very Europe. You have to be European.
Chugging.
You have to do.
Chugging, yeah,
And then
not
You
even
have to be European to drink rosé and be a boy.
And what
you
I've
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't. I couldn't show up and be like, "You finest bottle of rosé here," without getting a weird look. I find.
what I've heard is he finally had a time off when the pandemic hit that he hasn't had, and he realized his lateral quickness is starting to slip. So he's like, I'm
He
I'm
just
dealing
realized
with this.
that?
Well, he didn't have time to
Fair enough.
work during the season. You don't have time to shed 40
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah.
I just hope he can
Right?
still body Embiid. That's
Like-
the only thing that I'm worried about.
I think
You think he can body
his
him
thing
even
isn't
more?
necessarily bodying. It's just he just knows
So
it's-
technically
it's like
sound. Yeah.
positioning. So I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue with the Raps is I'm not worried about their defense at all. I'm worried about them being able to score against other elite defenses. If you can give Marc Gasol's usage up at least a little bit closer to where it was on Memphis, that's huge for the Raptors offense because they need someone to step up. It's got to either be like Terrence Davis, Matt Thomas stroking threes. They're going to need to get points from guys who weren't giving it to them on a consistent basis.
See, the weird thing is in the regular season, like when we needed scoring off our bench, we were getting it every single time.
Right.
Guys like Rondé Hollis Jefferson were coming out of nowhere, and he's like, what is he, like 6'4", and he just grabs every rebound when he's down there. I find it's nuts.
But when
he's such a bulldog.
if you're playing
I love him.
Milwaukee or either LA team or Philly, you're playing an elite defense every single game. So if Siakam has a night off where he's not, if he's not giving you 30 that night, it's like, where are you getting these other points?
Fred?
Last year we had a guy who could basically say, I'm getting 35 tonight, no matter
but
what.
this year Serge has been better offensively than I've ever seen him on the Raptors
I agree.
this last
I'm just
season.
saying that's the only. I'm not concerned. That's the side of the ball. The concerns are there. I don't think I'm not concerned about their defense.
No,
if
I think-
any team in the
I
league.
think having a defensive showdown, like you just said, I think that benefits them more though when it's two great defenses going
Yeah.
up rather than because they like you said they
We're a
can't.
grind.
Well,
Yeah.
all the best
Score-
teams in
yeah.
the league are the top. If you look at the top 5 defenses, it's like the Clippers, Lakers, Bucks, Raps, and so I think it's all the best teams really. So, but those teams have guys, and maybe Siakam takes a step, but those teams all have guys where it's I'm getting 40 tonight.
Yeah,
no matter you know what I mean? What Kawhi was you need me to get 40 tonight, I'm getting 40. I don't think Siakam's at that level yet.
I've heard
He can get 40, but it's not
Yeah, I'm not as big of a basketball nerd as you two are. So but I was listening to this podcast about Pascal Siakam. I want to see if you guys think this rings true. Apparently, he's really hard to guard because the analytics show that he's not a normal player.
No,
a
he
lot
just,
of his offense comes off the break, but then a lot of his offense
he
they were
scores
compar-
weird.
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
comparing
so
him-
unorthodox,
they were comparing him to Tatum and how Tatum is more like a standard scorer. He can score in every way that you think he should be able to score.
Well, it's
and then Siakam is just all over the map.
Yeah.
If you saw
they don't
Yeah.
there's no book on Siakam.
if you walked by a basketball court and you saw Tatum and Siakam just shooting around, we're
Tatum,
playing,
yeah.
you'd be like, that guy doesn't really know how to play basketball. This guy's really good because he just looks good.
Well, it's have you ever played you playing basketball against me, or when I used to play hockey sometimes shinny against
it's
house
guys
league
where you-
defenders? You're like it's harder to get by them sometimes because they're just waving their
'Cause
stick
you're used-
everywhere.
yeah, exactly.
I can't anticipate
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has some of that. A lot of that probably comes from the fact that he didn't start playing till he was like 17.
Yeah.
Like you don't have that like
The fundamentals drilled into you
which
as
somehow
much. Yeah. Benefits him.
yeah. Like his shot is
Because his
ugly.
athleticism makes up for a lot of it.
Yeah. And I mean, he's only improved, so he could keep getting better. But
I think he is going to keep getting
we're
better.
gonna
I really
need
do.
it. Like he's gonna have to be a superstar. And I'm talking like I'm not saying for them to get like they're. I'm not talking about first and even
Lowry's
second
going to
round.
have to be Lowry of last year's playoffs.
Yeah.
Because every year previous, he's at least had 1 or 2 series where he's just takes a dump on the
Like
court.
there's no
like he does. Like,
Yes.
there's no room for error with this team for like stuff like that happening this year. Last year there was because of that one guy that we had who could bail them out of that.
Number 2.
Yeah. Now it's like you all got it. It's all hands on deck every night. But anyways, bubble. What did you want to talk about the bubble specifically?
I wanted to talk about Ugly Hannah. Her name is, and she's already been invited into.
oh,
the
I heard.
bubble
I saw that.
as of I think.
Is that her
I think
name on
Ugly Hannah
Instagram?
And she like her pinned tweet is just like, look how like weird my ass looks. She's like turned sideways. It's like, oh, everybody knows you're thirst trapping.
Who invited her in? There was like
they don't know.
Well, there was
who.
one player on Instagram who followed her. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Lou
forget.
Williams, but I couldn't.
Oh.
Which
Yeah, that's standard.
I think that I might have just made that up. I might just be slandering
I
Lou
hope
Will here,
it's
but I
Lou
think it
Williams.
was
That's
Lou
not
Williams.
slander. That's what everybody expects. From
I can't find her. She also may have just been lying.
Bullshitting. Yeah, but there was
Yeah.
one NBA player who was following her.
Yeah. She's like, I already got invited in. Like, looks like the season's not happening. You're just like, all right, like,
All right, take a chill
take
pill,
your
Hannah.
15 minutes of fame and get the fuck.
The
out
other
of here.
thing that I thought was hilarious from the bubble was the 2 guys. Well, promising thing. 322 guys show up there. Only 2 guys tested positive. I thought that was pretty promising.
Well, the Raps were in. I just love this team. I love how disciplined we are. 2 weeks in the bubble, no problems, and then all of a sudden everybody else is coming in, and there's issues. It should have just been the Raps in there.
So 2 guys broke the quarantine, got in a little bit of trouble. They have to quarantine for longer. The one guy, one guy had an excuse.
2 years away from being 2 years away.
The other guy just left. I think
Bruno.
he just said, "I don't want to be
Yeah.
here," and he walked out.
Bruno.
Yeah,
He's still a year away, I think. So he doesn't even need to be in.
No,
there.
I think he's 2 years past his
Since
arrival
being-
date.
since being
Well,
2
now
years
he's
away.
10 days away from leaving his hotel room. 'Cause he-
10 days away from having human contact.
But
again.
Rashawn Holmes left to go get some food, which apparently they already have food in the bubble. He wasn't having it, so he ordered his own.
Do we know what he ordered?
No, I've been trying to find it. I can't. But that's why I wanted to ask you guys. Like,
Is there McRib back?
what food is worth an extra 10 days of quarantining? If you're like, I got to step outside. I got to go get this.
So
It's your go-to craving.
for me, I don't know if you guys just saw what I ate for lunch. So that shawarma from, I can't remember the name of the place, down the street here in
Yeah.
lovely Etobicoke.
It's got a special place in
And
his
New,
heart. He
New,
doesn't even know the name.
Yeah,
New Toronto. You
New Toronto shawarma. I think
don't
is
even know what
it's
it's called. It's definitely
It's
not
got a
called
special
that.
place in his heart, though.
Yeah.
called. I would quarantine for 20 days for
So
one of
you
those.
would-
Would you
Break
just
bubble.
get? Would you just get like if you're breaking bubble, you better go.
Oh,
all
I'm
out. You
getting
better
a
get
lot,
Some
yeah,
sides.
yeah.
You better get all the fixins.
See, I thought with you because I've seen
Some
your eating
jackass
patterns.
dude.
No, like you order at a restaurant the way that an 11-year-old does. Like this is my impression of Brandon
How are
Treader.
your chicken fingers?
This is my impression of Brandon Treader at a Michelin star restaurant. He's at like a world famous chef. He gets the menu. The menu gets handed to him, and he's just they're reading the specials, and he's just like,
Do you have the tenders au poulet? The French restaurant.
"Where are the chicken fingers?"
Yeah.
Scene. That's my impression of you.
Sweet potato fries. This is bullshit.
Oh yeah,
I just got him mad. Sweet potato fries.
sweet potato fries can.
Why
go
are
to
you so
hell.
fucking?
You would break
fancy?
bubble for sweet potato fries?
No, they
he's-
can go to hell.
No,
Oh, you don't?
I'm
No.
saying the fancy restaurant only offers sweet potato fries,
Oh.
and he's getting
That
mad.
is-
He wants like the regular
Fucking
fries.
bullshit.
So you're,
Shawarma.
you're saying shawarma, eh?
Yeah, or I don't know if you guys have ever had PG Clucks
I haven't.
chicken
I
sandwich.
haven't had that.
That is unbelievable.
Do we have that here?
Yeah, it's only here.
Is it on
Oh.
Uber Eats?
It's no, probably not. It's
Wait,
on,
what am I thinking
Skip the
of?
dishes.
and
You're thinking of Church's Chicken.
Well, we also have that here, but yeah, that I think that was thinking.
Yeah.
Of it. I
PG
haven't had
Clucks
that either.
is like on College Street.
Okay. Is it not a chain?
No, there's two of them, I think.
All right.
One's like by City Hall. Too,
I'm gonna
I think.
look into
It
that.
is. It looks like a heart attack between two buns. They
Oh.
also have. So they make the like a honey cruller.
Yeah, like
So they make-
Tim Hortons the best donut at Tim Hortons.
Ugh.
So
Tim Hortons donuts suck shit.
That yeah, I was
Honey
gonna say that.
cruller is good.
They make
delicious.
their
If
own
you
honey
like-
crullers
if you like
there.
shitty donuts.
So you can like get them on the side, or they have like a chicken sandwich that is a big piece of chicken between 2 honey crullers.
What are you getting? Were you getting a donut at Tim Hortons? What are you getting? With the
Bring up PG clock.
apple
here.
fritter?
No.
I actually love it. A fritter.
If I do need to get one, I'm getting a Boston cream.
Yeah,
All right.
If I
Canadian
need to get
maple.
one. Yes, also
Yeah,
Canadian,
Canadian
maple.
maple.
But maple's one of those things. Like I like to have a nice maple flavored thing
Yeah.
in the winter.
Do you like a fritter?
Maple's a winter flavor for me.
Yeah.
A fritter?
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
not
like
a fritter fan.
I like a fritter. I like a Danish. That maple
Yeah.
pecan Danish they have at Tim's. I actually like that. But you know what? Trying to lose weight, trying to slim down for the fans.
You're trying to you're taking
Some Marcus All.
yeah.
I'm using the Marcus All.
Marcus
method,
All as
yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened in the bubble, apparently they had a DJ party and Dwight Howard was the only one there.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Him and his pet snakes.
What are you like? Do you think he's like on the dance floor? Do you think he's just sitting? Does the DJ make? If you're playing to only one person,
He seems like the kind of guy that would be like standing up, but like kind of like awkward off to the side, like on his phone.
like, do you think the DJ like? Do you think they ever made eye contact?
Like, hey, dude, what do you want to hear next?
yeah, like
yeah. Like, do you want to hear anything?
You're the
No,
only-
you know what? The kind of DJ that would be in the bubble is just like, I'm playing my
Yeah.
music.
Oh,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
requests.
Do you also think like the DJ was like, "Hey man, like, do you have anyone else coming?" And Dwight like was like, "Yeah, my friends are coming soon, I think." And,
Yeah, like they should be here by now.
he just never confirmed that no one else was.
How
going
long
there.
do you think he was there for?
I
do you
like-
think he like?
That's what I want to know.
But you know what?
Did he
I
stay all night? Like, did he have a night?
There's a part of
Like-
me that envies that.
Yeah,
I
oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be able to do that.
No, me neither.
Especially
I-
that. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like going to see a movie. You go by yourself.
On
That's
your
kind of
own,
okay.
like-
I've always like been like, I've always thought it would be. I wish I had the courage to just like go to a nightclub by myself.
Never done it. I've
Me
never
neither.
done it.
I don't think I,
I
ever
won't do
would.
it.
Like, but it would be like
Even
some
a bar,
people do
even
that.
a bar by myself. Like unless it's like after a long day's work and I want to have one beer. Or
I've
something.
ate like a meal at a pub by myself.
Yeah.
That I could do.
But I'm saying
yeah.
like,
Or if
Sitting-
watch a
yeah.
game.
but yeah,
Yeah.
by yourself though.
I could do that.
I
I'd
could
have
do
it.
that. I
If
could
I'm
do
gonna
that.
watch a game and I'm alone, I'm just gonna go home.
But I'm thinking like a situation like if you're out of town and like
I'm going to my hotel room.
there's only one. But yeah, but if you're like hungry, you want to buy a meal, and there's a bar playing like a game.
Or you're
like,
coming home
Leafs
from
game.
work.
I'm a big bring it to like if I'm getting my food and I'm not with a group of people.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat my food at the bar.
Yeah.
I like to bring it home, set up, have my
See, there's
TV
something
on,
I
a
like about
beer.
like watching a game at a bar.
The atmosphere is good, but I like to have people with me to like.
For sure.
I'm-
It's way better
yeah.
for sure. But I could see a scenario where like if I'm coming home from work, it's like 6:30. The Leafs play at 7.
And you're like,
I
I'm
don't wanna-
hungry.
yeah.
I don't want to cook.
Yeah.
And like, you could get some
But
good
yeah, you
talks
bring-
going with
you
some
bring the
local
food
guys.
home with
But
you.
like if I'm working downtown, let's say, and I'm living somewhere far away, I don't want to miss the first period. Just sit there, have my meal.
And you are going home the rest of the after that.
yeah. I don't know. Like I could see.
I can see it.
situation
I
where I
can
would
see
do
where
it.
you can.
You could end up in some
Convince
good,
yourself that
good
would be good, but I
discussions.
just-
yeah.
I would sit at the bar though. That's the play. If you're by yourself, you said it.
That's
Yeah,
what I
I
mean.
agree.
I don't know if I ever want to be that guy at the bar though. You know what I mean?
It depends how you look.
Like yeah.
That's what it depends.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta
Like,
be put together.
they're
You
always,
can't be like
they're
disheveled.
always at the corner.
Yeah.
that, yeah.
At the corner of the bar. They're always at the corner.
They go for a smoke every
because
15
they
minutes.
can see because this is a guy at my work taught me this. He's a
big solo
he's
bar
a
guy.
huge solo bar guy. He's a vet. So he'll sit at the end, like if it comes like this, he'll sit at the end like this because the waitresses have to bend over to grab things.
Jesus.
That's what he
Wow.
told me. That's what he told me, and
That's
I was like, dude, I don't want to be you ever. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
a disaster.
I don't want to be.
That's-
I don't want to be that fucking guy.
Yeah, but you
I don't want to be that
Like,
weird.
you told him about
creepazoid
Pornhub?
at
Like,
the corner. He doesn't have internet. This is this
that
kind of
doesn't
guy.
surprise
This is
me.
this kind of guy.
This is a depressing story.
Yeah.
Not really. It's kind of funny. I like.
Yeah, no.
He's a happy man. He's fine with his life. I'm sure. I don't know. I don't want to be that regular at a bar. I never want to.
Yeah,
be
we're
that
talking
guy.
about a one-time deal here.
Yeah,
just
but
have-
like it's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a slippery slope.
All right.
All right. Do we want to talk about the Leafs now?
That-
We can go into the lead. Or do you want to you want to finish off strong?
yeah, I
with
mean,
the
there's
Leafs and
not
go
much.
NFL?
There's really nothing much.
I've got a couple things I want to talk about with the Leafs? Nothing.
Well, no, let's go into the Leafs.
Leafs
There's-
Oh, you're
last.
talking about the okay.
Yeah, we'll go NFL. We'll talk about Mahomes.
You want to go Leafs last?
Groundbreaking contract.
You wanna do
Go-
Leafs
let's go
last?
Leafs now because we got a
have-
strict time cutoff. So
we
let's
do.
get the Leafs in.
We only got a little bit of battery left on
Yeah,
this
we
camera,
gotta-
and we don't have the charger.
So let's roll through the Leafs for 20 minutes or so.
I don't know if we're gonna do that long.
Well,
but-
I gotta. What do you
right.
got?
So I
What do
think
you
the one
want?
thing I want to talk about, there's a few things I want to talk about actually, but first we'll start like going forward. I think they're going to be in a lot of cap trouble.
with this, we were talking. We actually went in a pretty big discussion about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm saying one of the Janssen, Kerfoot, or Kapanen are gonna have to go.
Probably, yeah.
You weren't even thinking Kerfoot at the beginning.
I know. I said Janssen or Kapanen.
I'm
I would
like,
say
honestly,
Kerfoot for
fuck
sure.
Kerfoot.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but like,
I just
he
think
That
has
has
been
not
such a
worked
letdown.
Yeah.
you're likely to get
Like-
something better. It depends on what you get, right? If you get
making-
something worthwhile,
he's making
from
more
Janssen or
money.
Kapanen
He's making
trade.
more money than both of them.
I understand.
He doesn't play penalty kill. He's not a role player by any means. He's just a guy.
Yeah,
And
let's
it's like
see
it's
what
a
he
guy
does.
making
Let's see
3.5
what-
million on our third.
Let's
line.
see what he does in the bubble.
I'd rather throw Engvall to the Wolves, put him in the middle there, trade him.
I think
and we
Engvall's
can
a fourth liner.
and we can he's a great skater. He's got a great he's a good passer.
I think he
I
was
hon-
really bad in the second half of the season.
As soon as he got that contract, he like turned to shit.
Engvall's a fourth liner, I think. Like
Like,
But he's playing third line.
we don't have depth.
We do though.
We have Nick Robertson is taking a spot on the third line.
You think so?
Or Mikheyev.
I didn't. I
Mikheiv's on
liked
the-
well, then
Mikheiv's
people get
top
bumped
6.
down. Like,
that Kapanen, Kerfoot, Engvall line wasn't bad towards the end. Like, I mean, I just went on a rant about Kerfoot.
Yeah,
so
well, no,
I'm kinda-
we're talking about the cap. Like, so one of those forwards is gonna have to go.
the other thing, this is a little bit
I
crazier.
say for me, it's Kerfoot's gone. I like those two.
Let's go back to the.
There's one
We're
more-
gonna talk
well-
about Nick Robertson after, so we can go back to Engvall at that point. Let's continue with
The other
cap.
thing you could do there, though, the cap is a little bit crazier. You could trade Morgan Riley. You'll get more back. It's a
Stops
you-
my heart. Just thinking about it. I don't like
You get more back for him, obviously, and then or package him with Kerfoot maybe. You'd get more in return.
It depends what
You're
all
gonna
depends
lose
on what you're
Morgan.
getting
Riley.
back.
You're gonna
right?
lose Morgan Riley in
also-
2 years
it
anyway.
could-
I don't
completely
think.
depends
I
on
don't
what you're
think
getting back.
necessarily.
They are now because the cap's not going to go up anything
Or
for
well,
a while.
or your Jack Campbell's your goalie.
Brandon
Yeah,
Pridham.
that.
Brandon Pridham is a cap whiz. He's been doing it.
You're not signing Riley and Anderson.
I'm not saying we are.
Like,
Maybe. What do you guys think? Matt Murray's up. What do you guys think about
They
Matt
can't, no,
Murray?
they can't pay a goalie. Like it's
Yeah, but he's not going to make what Anderson's going to make.
no, but they
No,
don't
he's
like
making like
dude,
5 now. He's won a
making,
cup.
He's making. Yeah, but he won a cup and lost his job.
Yeah. So did
So
Marc-Andre
let's get
Fleury.
real.
Well, if Freddie plays if Freddie has a bad
Yeah, but
showing in the
Fleury
bubble,
had-
what's he gonna
Fleury
get?
had way more. Yeah,
Like-
that's still speculation.
I know,
Yeah,
but
like, I don't
this
know.
is all
Yeah,
speculation.
Freddie is.
Freddie didn't have a good year.
Yeah, he didn't have a good year at all. But what does he have? 2 more years? Next year and the year after that for Fred, or is that
I
Morgan
think Freddie's got 1 more year.
after this?
Yeah, and then
Another
Morgan's
thing
got
that
2.
we briefly talked about, which we're kind of getting sidetracked again with this, but
Yeah.
how like you're jumping right into a best of 5. How big of a leash are you giving Freddie? Like if he has a bad first game, like what do you do? What
I
do
think
do?
you just go with Freddie. Like
I said the same thing. I
Yeah.
said you ride your guy.
I say you're pulling him halfway through the second game if it's still bad. You don't have time. You don't have time.
Goalie is just such a mental.
But-
it's such a mental.
But
thing.
you don't have time.
And we had this
you
argument
need him-
last year.
You
when-
need him next year.
We had
too.
this argument last year. I don't think it was on the podcast, but it was like the idea of like the feeling your team has when your starters in net and the feeling your team has when your backups in net.
Yeah.
It's a mental thing, man.
I think
it's
they have
like
more-
I'm going to take more risk when your starters in net offensively, which is what our team thrives doing is jumping up into the play and kind of like forcing the narrative in the offensive zone and just kind of like playing our own game and not sitting back like we did when we had Babcock as a coach and just get lit up. Where I think you're more likely to take risk when you have Anderson in net as opposed to like when you have your backup in. I don't know. I don't like playing a backup in the playoffs. And it has worked in the past for some teams.
I'm saying like if he gets shelled for like 5 in the first game, it's like because you don't have. It's not a best of 7. You
take him
can't
out
lose. You can only lose 2 more games.
How about
right?
this? You take him out in the first game and you still start him in the second game.
Yeah.
And then if it's still bad,
Notoriously slow
you cross
starter.
that bridge when you
That's-
come. When
that
you
worries me
Notoriously
too,
slow
for sure.
starter. It's
actually
not
just-
October
I don't even know
though.
if it's
so
notoriously slow starter
it's a
because
bad October.
it's like a bad month and he'll just throw it in there.
October's very worse.
December was his
OVW.
year. December I'm pretty
Freddie
sure was his
Anderson.
year this year. December was god awful,
Yeah, it was. You're right.
like horrible.
But I don't think he started
For
that good
Freddie.
either. Anyways, that's anything else on the cap? Just that
I've got a
sucks.
hypothetical I'm going to throw at you guys now quickly. I don't know if you guys remember coming out of the lockout 2013. The teams were all given a compliance buyout where they could just buy out one guy, no questions asked.
You think the new CBA they might give us?
No,
a
I don't think
who
they
it would
will.
be?
I don't think they will. But if they did,
They've already-
would you use it? And who would you use it on?
We're pretty set up long term. Like
Like, if I'm giving you an
there's
out,
nobody I'm like looking at where I'm like, geez, Louise. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's like,
yeah, like it would be if Horton or David Clarkson had more time on there. I would.
they
just-
don't matter, though. Like, they
Yeah,
don't.
they don't matter. But if you might as well use it if you
Yeah.
got it. Like it's like get it off.
You
the
wouldn't
books.
use it on Kerfoot? Just get rid of him?
No,
Because
Because
you're
I think
not
you
you're not
can-
gonna get a guy like
because I think you can.
You need
He's
to
20,
replace him.
because he's still 25. You
Yeah,
can still trade.
you're
him.
right.
Like and he's not at that bad of a cap hit. He's only had a bad cap hit for us because we're so tight. Like that's really the
The
only
hot
reason
take,
it's a bad
too?
It's a bad.
I don't necessarily
Were
believe
you about to
this.
say Tavares? I'm gonna
Yes.
punch you in the jaw if you say that.
That is the hottest
Yeah.
of takes you could throw out there. But you've already gotten the 2 best years of that contract.
And
Look, man,
you know what?
this is the thing.
Do you want to get into
No,
lineup talks?
Hold on. One thing I will say is with the cap the way it's going to be like the next like 5 years, teams that have cap space are
Yeah,
going to
we
be
were talking
getting
about this,
bargain deals.
Yeah.
Like, and
Like,
we,
Pietrangelo is screwed.
we don't
Like,
have that, right? Like that
No.
we're teams that are against the cap are going to be really disadvantaged like the next 5 years. At least in the free agent market.
Well, the one thing, too, though-
well, to your point though,
Yeah, it's
that
gonna
will
be a
trickle
little- it's
down.
gonna be a trickle
so like
down
the guys,
effect,
the
so-
cheaper guys we're trying to get will also be cheaper,
Yeah.
but we won't be able to like guys are going to be getting
Like second and third pairing defensemen.
like if you thought the
we'll
Braden
be like,
Point
come on.
contract was a joke, like there's going to be guys getting like 5 a year that
Braden
are
Point contract made me puke in my mouth.
you're going to be seeing all the that's what you're going to be seeing across the board though. It's going to
Yeah,
be
but
bargain.
I'll have an
deals.
explanation for it.
Yeah.
But that one I don't. I'm just like
They like tricked him.
you guys are.
They tricked his agent.
They, like, moved the
Yeah.
decimal point.
Makes me sick.
Like, he's not that
Oh!
Yeah, but you were playing with Stamkos.
They got,
no,
like, his-
not- sometimes he wasn't. He was
Yeah.
still putting.
good. They got his agent drunk.
But-
And they're like, he's not even that good. You guys are right. I like you
Yeah, like,
guys.
oh, yeah, but didn't you guys like Marner signed first too? Like that's the crazy thing. To me, that's the crazy thing. Marner signed before him, and he still didn't have the leverage to get up over $8.5 million.
Yeah.
Like, how does that? How?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know.
Fire your agent.
No state tax.
Who cares?
No state tax.
Yeah.
That to me, that is like, yeah, that's a benefit. But it's like I'm not letting you use that as a bargaining chip.
That's probably what but that's what Tampa was probably using.
I'm not letting Tampa.
You're gonna
use
make
that.
the same as Marner after tax. All right.
Yeah, and then Marner has millions of dollars of endorsement deals.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
He's not getting that in Tampa.
No.
Not even close.
I'm not saying. I'm just trying to find some sort of reason.
And I'm trying
for
to
it.
shut your reasons down because it pisses me off.
All right. Speaking of contracts here, do you want to move on and let's talk about the biggest contract in the history of sports?
Oh, I wanted
You want to
keep
know?
going
We're not
Leafs.
done on the Leafs.
We're not done the Leafs?
Dude,
All
we
right.
haven't-
we still
we
got
haven't even
some
talked.
time.
We haven't even talked lineup. Yet.
Yeah, Lions. Well,
I thought we were gonna do
we
that,
gotta
like-
talk Nick
I want to
Robinson
talk
a
about
bit.
Tavares too.
Okay,
John Tavares.
from Oakville.
Do you want him? Yeah. Do you want?
Oh, pride of
Yeah.
Oakville. Brandon
Do
Shredder.
you want him with Marner again, or do you want
Yeah.
him with Nylander? Because he's been with the Nylander all year. Matthews has had a resurgence, but I don't think Matthews needs Marner.
Well, I
and
got
I
the
think
scrimmage.
Tavares needs-
the scrimmage lines right here.
And he's back with Marner.
Mikheyev, Tavares,
Yeah.
Marner.
Yeah, and he's back with Marner.
I like that line.
Me too, and I wanted to bring that up because
It is funny, though, because we would
Tavares
like.
has had a harder time scoring goals this year than he did last year. He's had a much harder time scoring goals with Nylander on his wing, and I wouldn't say that's the same. You can't argue the same with Matthews.
No, Matthews is going to score
He's-
whoever's on his way.
Exactly.
The
so I
flip
think,
side to
I
that-
think it just benefits
Yeah.
everybody to have Nylander with Matthews and Marner, but Nylander played better.
I was going to say
with
that's the
Tavares.
flip side of that argument is Nylander's having a career year right
Yeah.
now. And
Yeah. Do you also think Tavares has more responsibility in other areas this year than he did last year? So that could be a reason why his scoring's down.
It's not even like he had like.
Well, yeah,
30
he is
goals,
more.
didn't
He is more of a defensive. Without
Yeah.
Kadri, he's playing
That's
a
what
lot
I mean.
more of the defensive
So like
minutes.
he's
He's
not
getting
as
a lot more defensive zone starts
for sure. Yeah, Tavares, like, he had a sneaky, still, like, pretty good year.
What,
Yeah, like people are
27
shitting
goals?
all over him, but
Yeah.
he like.
What does he have? 27
Something
goals?
like that.
Yeah, hold on, I'm bringing it
He
up.
definitely
now.
didn't
But it's
deserve to be
shitting
shit
on. It's shitting on compared to like, what he
26.
did the year
He
before.
had 26.
It's like, yeah.
Like he had 40 goals.
He had
the year
47.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
like,
you're not. He's not. That's under the
That was his career high too.
That's
like
never
now
happening
he-
again.
And now he's back with Marner. So
yeah.
he would
maybe it will.
over an 82 game season, he was on pace for 34, which is right around like his career average, right? Like that's what he's done his whole career.
Tavares is the kind of guy with Marner, especially like a guy with that elite level vision. A guy like Tavares is huge because Tavares isn't the fastest guy, so he is positionally sound. If you watch him in the offensive and defensive zone, he's always in the right spot, and Marner knows where he is because he's in the right spot. So Marner will That's why he would remember last year the kind of circus passes he would throw to Tavares, and he just send it in the empty net. That's why. It's because Marner knew that where Tavares was going to be all the time because Tavares is always in the right spot because he's not fast enough, so he has to be like efficient with his strides.
No, I like that.
I agree.
I like the top six the way that they ran it out in the
And then
scrimmage.
you got Hyman, Matthews, Nylander, a little.
And then a guy who
I forgot we had Clifford, and I'm so happy.
well,
about
that's
it.
so if Nick Robertson does crack the top 12,
I don't think
I think he gets a game. I think he gets a game.
I think he starts the first game
I don't know
really?
about
Yeah.
starts the first game.
on the third line.
I would love that.
He's been playing PP1 in the scrimmages. Like,
Yeah, maybe he does that. I
I
just
would
I
love
don't know.
that. He seems like he's got all the intangibles.
if he does, like, what do you think they throw him in like third line, take Gauthier out and bump Engvall down?
You're gonna take Freddie
the
the goat out of the
Gautier's
lineup.
not on the third line.
Who's gonna kill?
Gautier's on the
penalties?
fourth line.
Yeah.
Robertson goes into the third line. Engvall goes down to the fourth. Freddie's out.
So then Engvall, Spezza, Clifford.
Yeah. Someone's got to go. I don't think you're taking Spets out. I don't.
Clifford's not
Spezza-
coming
You
out.
need Spezza for those.
Clifford. I don't think
face-offs.
Clifford's
you
coming
need
out.
Spezza for
I
those.
think
Spezza had a sneaky good year too, right? Like
But
he-
that's that.
yeah.
But in the playoffs, if you want possession, Spezza
Oh, yeah,
is
I'm
a
saying-
guy,
yeah,
if
I'm
you
saying
throw
he had
him
a good
out,
year.
He will win
Yeah.
the
So
face.
Freddie's the guy who goes then.
yeah.
Which, unfortunately, because
He's a 6'5" guy that doesn't hit.
No,
So it's like
he's nice. Though.
I love the go. I like the go.
And then
I'm
the
being
D
mean.
pairings that they've got. So on the defensive scrimmage squad, they had Riley, Ceci, Muzzenhall. Muzzenhall's going to be the shutdown
That's
pair.
That's the only pair I like.
Muzzenhall.
I agree.
Muzzenhall.
That's the shutdown pair.
That's the only pairing
And
that
then
I'm like.
Barry
I'm
Dermott
very good. I'm very
is your
fine
third
with that. I'm
pairing.
very comfortable.
I guess. I think they do, like roll with those and then you put Barry. If desperation situations, you throw Barry and Riley out there together when you need a goal. But
Yeah.
our D, I don't like the look of our D.
And then you make sure Kapanen's out there too, so you can get back on D.
yeah. Well,
we need a fucking blazer out there for that.
Yeah, his job is just to track
Yeah,
down
like
the
make
breakaways.
sure nobody gets back there because they're not looking.
yeah. And then I guess Sandy.
Who staggers back? In that case, probably Riley.
who can
You know what I
Neither
mean?
of
Like,
them. Neither of them
They,
do.
yeah. That's what I mean.
That's
You
when
need
you're down
Kapanen back
you're
there.
down 5-2 with
Yeah.
3 minutes left.
Yeah, like general like hockey, like just like if you're going by the book and you have a really offensive guy, you put him with a really defensive guy.
Zach Hyman
who's gonna
staggers
stagger back.
in
Yeah,
that
like,
situation.
like I would say, yeah, Kapanen, Kapanen staying on the red line. Yeah, you know what do you want to talk about Columbus at all?
I think we can do that.
No, do that
We can do that
next
coming
week.
up because they're still going to be in training camp next week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think we still have 2 weeks before they actually start
Yeah.
playing because August.
They're
1st,
August
right?
1st, yeah.
Yeah, so we have 2 more weeks before they actually play a game, so we can do that. What are we at?
Give me a second.
Okay.
No, keep talking.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry.
53. Do we want to go into
Yeah.
what you want to talk about?
Do you want to talk about Mahomes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do
A
Mahomes.
couple things. First thing on the NFL is this is just a note of interest. Friday they announced they have an owners meeting tomorrow, so I think speculation is they're going to talk about like what the fuck they're going to do because training camp was supposed to start in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to start.
No. So I think you're going to probably have an announcement tomorrow of something, things getting pushed back. Maybe they're just going to talk about players' pay.
From what I gather, the Bills are like all together already. Like I only really follow the Bills closely like that. Like the entire offense, I'm pretty sure, is in Florida or California for the Bills, or like they have been at a certain time. And I saw that the defense were all together as well. I think these teams are trying to get a head start on it.
Same question for MLB percentage. The NFL starts on time.
I think this is high. I'm optimistic. Maybe I'm just more optimistic
How
than
about
you two.
NFL crowns? NFL finishes
I'm
their
optimistic
season.
about NFL too because I think
They care about
it's
money.
religion.
Yeah,
It's like a religion.
But if you're in like,
and there's so many like
you play in California, and the state says you can't play here. That doesn't matter.
they'll play in Vegas or they'll find somewhere to play.
How, dude? You can't just like throw a football team in like cities. You have to plan this out.
Do you think that's hard to plan though? You got to move 2 teams.
But you have like half the states that are in lockdown.
I don't think it's that high.
I
think you're underestimating how.
I don't think they're gonna start.
Maybe.
On time.
I think they will personally because they've.
What do you think?
Also, I don't think the players want to play. Everything I've seen, like this is ridiculous.
Have you? I haven't seen any of that.
all the Bills want to play because we finally have a squad. Finally have some kind of a team. I don't know. I think. What do you guys think? Do you think there would be a possibility that they take away the final 2 preseason games?
Oh, they've said they're not doing any preseason games.
When did that come out? I thought
Not
they took
that
away
long
the
ago.
first 2.
They took them all out.
So
I saw the first 2 got eliminated. I didn't see the last.
if the NFLPA works out a situation where they allow opt-out clauses, and they still get paid,
That's not happening in the NFLPA. They have no leverage.
if
That's
that
like the
does
weakest.
happen though,
Yeah,
like 80% of the guys are opting out.
I think, but that's not going to happen. Just because that union is as weak as they get. Like it's the most violent sport. They don't have any guaranteed contracts.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. I don't think it's gonna start on time. I hope. I don't even know if I hope it does.
My brain agrees with you. My heart says fuck you.
Well,
That's the reality.
okay. Talk about Mahomes.
We didn't talk about this prior. Do we want to keep this a PG podcast? Because I've been swearing.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, so apparently the union wants 0 games. The NFL wants 2. So they're going to play 1 preseason game. Is probably what that's going to end up being.
So he told me I was wrong, but I
Yeah.
wasn't really wrong.
Okay, Mahomes.
Okay.
You want to talk about how much money he left on the table?
No, I wasn't going to talk about that, but I want to look at the other.
We talk about your voice crack.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. We could have let that one go, but
I can't. I gotta hold you to a high standard. Feet to the fire, buddy.
We will not be,
iron sharpens
not
iron.
be editing that out.
Yeah.
that's going to be a drop.
That-
So in the history of the NFL, there's been 5 10-year contracts signed in the past. All quarterbacks, none of them finished.
Do you have all of them there?
Yeah, I do.
Can I guess them?
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay.
No, wait.
They all just to
How are they all within the last 20 years?
yeah, so they all came between 2001 and 2003.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? In that 2-year stretch?
Or sorry, yeah, 2004, 2001 to 2004, so 3 years.
10-year deals.
Did Brady sign one?
No,
Breeze?
no.
Manning?
You guys, it's like before these guys.
Well, they were all there then.
No, but it's like
Well, Breeze
guys
wasn't.
who were like established by
Michael Vick?
Oh,
Yeah. So Vic was actually the most recent one.
McNabb.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go through Vic here first. So Vic signed a 10-year, $130 million extension in 2004. He was released after the dogfighting charges in 2006.
Okay.
So you got 2 years out of that.
Yeah. What do you know? Have their guarantees on there?
No, I don't have the
Okay.
guarantees, just the total.
Mahomes
And
is 140.
So they're
I
all.
think?
So actually, yeah. So I have this. They're all about. They all make about $10 million a year, give or take.
Right.
So based on percentage of the cap in 2001 or 2002, $10 million was about what $28 million a year is today. So even by that percentage, Mahomes is like blowing these guys out of the water.
Right. I still think. Yeah, we can get into this after.
the other
I
one-
still think Mahomes is It was a bad deal
For
him.
For him, really.
But we'll all after we do.
I don't know.
this,
Yeah, go through this and maybe.
McNabb is one.
So McNabb signed a 12-year, $115 million deal in
There's
2002.
2. Kurt Warner.
No. So McNabb was traded to Washington in 2010. So he was like arguably the most successful of these guys.
Steve McNair.
Nope.
Bledsoe.
Yep. Drew Bledsoe signed a 10-year, $103 million deal with the Patriots in 2001. He was the least successful, arguably. He was traded to the Bills, a division rival, 14 months later.
Good team. Dante Culpepper.
Yep.
That's a good one.
He might also be one of the least successful ones. He signed a 10-year, $102 million deal in 2003. He was traded to the Dolphins in 2005.
This is a shot in the dark. Jake Delhomme.
No, Jake Delhomme. So there's one more.
What? Was that 10?
There's 5. There's been 5 10-year deals.
Oh.
Vic McNabb.
There's one.
Culpepper.
Yeah.
I think we only said
Bledsoe.
Vic. That's 4.
Yeah,
Vic,
so there's one more.
McNabb, Culpepper.
Oh, there's only one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one more.
Stun, this guy hasn't been brought up yet.
Favre?
Yeah. He was the first one.
Favre.
So Brett Favre signed a 10-year, $100 million deal in 2001. It was called a lifetime deal
No
when they
way.
first did it. Yeah.
He's on the
There
wall.
he is.
They called it a lifetime deal, and then he was traded in 2008.
Yeah, because a
So like
better looking guy stepped in, took his job.
like him and Bledsoe signed them like days apart. Favre was first, then Bledsoe was a couple days later. Interestingly, all 5 of these guys combined went 0 for 1 in the Super Bowl after signing their deal. McNabb was the only one who got there and he lost. And then actually 4 of the 5 ended up playing for a division rival, which I also thought was crazy.
I'd say it'd be tough. You have to be like in the time but I think Vic's was probably worth it at the time.
Yeah.
He was like McNabb's probably was too. He was
McNabb,
really good. The Culpepper and Bledsoe one seemed kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well, Culpepper-
Favre was pretty old too.
Yeah.
That seems a little ridiculous.
So McNabb and Vic, obviously, though I think you could Vic's is a little bit of an asterisk, but I think you could argue that McNabb's even paid off in hindsight.
They were really good. They go to like the conference finals, like
They got to a Super Bowl too.
or the conference championship game like 4 years in a row.
That I don't know.
They went to the Super Bowl with T.O.
and lost to the Patriots.
Fucking
Favre
Patriots.
also had he played 7 years on that deal, was ultimately traded.
And then he like almost won an MVP with the
Vikings, right? Yeah.
So the Mahomes deal, like, I understand. Like for him, there's no he's almost a billionaire if he plays it out. He has 140 million guaranteed. I think it
Well,
hurts.
it's 440 million guaranteed, isn't it?
No, it's
Is it? I thought it was like a
140.
ton.
No, it's 140.
Oh, is it?
140.
Yeah.
Which is still an insane amount of
Yeah.
money. But I
Yeah,
think
it's like imagine he
just
breaks
quits.
both his
Yeah.
he breaks
100
both his ankles tomorrow. He's
He's
still got
140
140
million.
million.
I think it hurts other if he had to sign a shorter deal, he would have got more in his next free agency. Like you're taking a
Yeah.
risk if he gets hurt or something crazy happens. But if you're someone like Dak, I feel like you're like, what the fuck, man? You're not doing me any favors here.
Well, it's $50 million a year.
For Mahomes, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but it hurts other players bargaining. Like he didn't optimize what he could have got.
Yeah.
Like that in the NBA with the players, all those guys just signed 2 and 1 year deals now. They taken the power, the ownership's power completely away. LeBron will just sign 2-year deals with player options, like what Kawhi did that.
Speaking of ownership power, if it was within your power to name the Washington Redskins, what would you name them, and why?
So I have actually proposed a 3-team interleague nickname trade.
Whoa.
Well, still sort of abolishing the Redskins name, but kind of just changing it into something else.
Tweaking it?
But I'll let you, if you have any good ideas, I'll let you go
Well,
first.
it seems you have a step-by-step
this-
plan.
All right, well,
do you have a PowerPoint?
Trade.
No, so it's between the NBA and the NFL. It's a forced trade. All right?
You
You're
want
stepping in.
the Wizards to be
No. So, one of my biggest pet peeves of sports names is the Utah Jazz.
Okay.
I think that's a ridiculous name. I think Jazz, if you had to
What about
look
the
at,
Lakers?
That's a bad one,
That's
too.
bad, but at least there are lakes in California.
Are there?
Jazz is the opposite. If you look up what is the opposite of Jazz, it's the state of Utah. So they were the New Orleans Jazz. Great name. That encapsulates that city.
Mm-hmm.
They moved to Utah. They didn't change the name. Okay. So I'm forcing a 3-team nickname trade. Utah has forced to trade the name Jazz back to the New Orleans basketball team, who are now called the Pelicans. Stupid name. They're now the New Orleans Jazz. They got their team back. This perfect
Okay.
name for their city. The Pelicans is forced to trade their team name to the Washington Redskins. They're now the Washington Pelicans as punishment for using a slur as their nickname for all these years. Doesn't have to be. We can set a
Like a 5-year punishment.
5 or 10. Yeah,
What's a group of pelicans called? We can call the fans that.
Flock.
a flock, maybe.
I don't know. There's usually specific ones for weird
But anyways, okay, let me just finish the third
It's called
part of the
it's
string.
called a pod.
Okay, the pod.
Yeah, not bad.
So the Washington Pelicans are your football team. For a 5, we'll give them a 5-year sentence. Then they can come up with something else. The Redskins, we're going to obviously retire the Redskin name. Hold on.
There's multiple. There's a pod. There's a pouch. A scoop.
The Redskin name is going to move to Utah, but it's not going to – it's going to change a little bit. It's still going to incorporate skin that's red. It's not going to have any connotation towards indigenous people. Utah is 95% pasty white people. They get sunburned. So we're going to – instead of them being the Utah, they're going to be called the Salt Lake City Sunburns.
Okay.
Their mascot is going to be like a middle-aged white guy who doesn't rub the sunscreen in on his nose.
Bad.
So you got the Salt Lake Sunburns, you got the New Orleans Jazz, and then you got the Washington Pelicans in the NFL. That's my proposal. It's a complicated. I don't know how you'd get any of these teams to agree to any of that, but that's what I think should happen. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say I actually really like the Red Wolves. What's coming up?
Yeah.
I actually do like that.
I
name.
like it. I don't know
it's
why.
a good
There's
name.
something about
and
it.
it's like they don't have to like. They can keep their color scheme.
Yeah, and like everybody likes a good Wolf T-shirt, right? Get them at
I
convenience.
don't think there's any other Wolf kind of team.
You can
in
get
the
them at
NFL.
convenience
There's
stores.
Like the Timberwolves and Minnesota Timberwolves, but that's a
Yeah.
different sport.
But the other thing that I was gonna propose is let's bring back the Bullets, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
Right? There's others. It's not racist, at least.
Washington's had a tough go with nicknames.
Yeah, they-
Yeah, let's bring the Bullets back.
They've had the
I like the Bullets. I think that's a great name.
they changed it because they had at one point had the highest murder rate.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they do anymore.
Chicago
So
now has it.
Baltimore maybe.
I think it should.
That should be a punishment. If you have the highest murder rate, you have to name your team the Bullets.
Yeah, until
It's
you
like you
get
shame
out of
us,
it.
yeah.
It's a moniker. Yeah, you have to. It's a
Yeah.
veil of shame.
What was the other one? There was like Red Wolves. People saying Red Tails.
Red Tails is like a.
I hate that name, but it's.
Do you know the history of it?
It's like some
it's
kind,
it's a like a military
The first
Air Force
responders-
base.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
was
like an
like-
Air Force regiment.
But they were the first responders on 9/11 to the Pentagon. That was like another thing.
Oh,
So
was
they
it?
would like. That's something like they would eat up. Though.
I think
they
were-
would do so much shit on like 9/11 for
Yeah.
like the
yeah. So that I think I'm pretty sure that that's the case.
Unless I'm mixing something up too. I think they were a predominantly black, like war regiment, like air fighter regiment.
Okay.
I might be
So
mixing up
they're
the
like-
names here, but I
it's-
believe
it
or
would be
African
a
American.
So you're
very
saying-
good PR for.
So
Yeah,
you're saying
exactly.
Dan Schneider's
Although-
not gonna pick it.
yeah, he doesn't give a shit. I like how it's like the only reason this is happening is because all those sponsors.
Yeah.
are
Oh yeah.
white.
Well,
They-
yeah. That's the only way it was ever gonna
Yeah,
change.
Yeah, money moves mountains, buddy.
What about you, Brandon? You have,
I think
did you have any more? No.
That's it.
I think I would like. It sounds like it's gonna be Red Tails, just from what I've been reading.
So I thought no one had some good like political like spins. You had a couple like the Washington filibusters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was lame.
I love the Onion article. That was Redskins announced they've changed their name to the DC Redskins.
yeah.
What about the lobbyists?
Washington
Yeah,
lobbyists?
the warmongers?
That's
Warriors isn't a bad one. Like if they want
Washington-
to, but like it's been done. Well, the problem is apparently that
good.
somebody.
Washington war pigs. That's just like
I don't mind
the
a
rich
pig, like a
people that send
nice,
people to war.
yeah, like a nice pig, right? Like the
warthogs?
Arkansas team, the Arkansas.
But you know that's the Black Sabbath song War Pig.
The
It's
Razorbacks?
about how like the government just sits there and lets like the citizens go to war.
And then they'd have to get rights to the song.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently the name
That's
they
a
want.
sick song.
Apparently the name that they want to name their team is trademarked already. So they're like fighting. They're
The
trying to
red-
get it.
The red.
whatever
tails?
whatever they want to name.
Apparently there's a guy. Apparently there's a guy that just owns a shit ton of Washington blanks because he's been like preparing.
I heard the Senators is a considered.
Like that's a
Washington
baseball
Senators.
team.
Not anymore.
No, it's a.
What? That's what the Texas Rangers were, I think. Maybe it's a
that- I
minor
think
league.
it's-
It might
I
be a
think it-
minor league team.
They might be not. They might not be in Washington though. They might be in. I think they're in Harrisburg.
Ottawa.
So we're at a
Yeah.
minute. We're at a minute 7 here. We have a minute 23. I do want to get into this hypothetical because
Yeah,
I like it
let's
just
go.
to end it off.
Yeah.
So this was something we came up with the other day when we were thinking about the proposal Skip Bayless had with LeBron. LeBron versus Tyson. He was trying to make a discussion out of this.
He made
Like
the
it would
outrageous
be a
claim
discussion.
that Mike Tyson, a boxer, would beat LeBron James in a boxing
like it
match.
would be a discussion. And so me and Mike were talking. We were saying like, what sport could LeBron pick up tomorrow and probably be in the professional league? We said football. And then we were thinking, we go one step forward. What sport do you think, if you started from when you were younger, like you were 5 years old and you like dedicated your life to it, what sport do you think you could have been elite at that you didn't
Yeah, because I
go
think
into.
we also were talking about, like, if LeBron had trained in boxing from the time he was 5, do you think he would be able to beat
even though he
Tyson?
can't get hit without crying
Yeah.
in the
'Cause he had the
NBA.
time. But so it's like, just to be clear, is the question?
The question is, what sport do you think you would be world class at if you had started training by the age of 5 and you got all the necessary tools that
So
you
which one do
needed
you think
to
you'd be the most ahead, more than all the others?
Yes.
All right. I have
2.
I have a few.
One is a hot take and one's a cold
Well,
take.
I have one that I put on here just because I never played it, but when we did it in gym class, for whatever reason, I was always like better. Like no one really played it.
Yeah.
It's because in gym you do a lot of those like sports, like a lot of weird sports that no
Are
one
you
like
about to hit me
plays.
with badminton?
Yes.
Oh.
I was always like real. I don't know why I was just always good. All other net sports, like I'm really bad at tennis.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at ping pong. Like
How are you as a volleyball? You seem like a volleyball player.
bad, not good.
No?
No.
Uh-oh. It's because you're a lefty.
But badminton, I was always good at. So I think if I had of taken that up from an early age,
I
and
feel like
really worked
badminton's
at it-
one of those sports too that like if you're a lefty, it's a huge advantage. Right?
I never
'Cause
even
it's
thought
such
about that, yeah,
it's
but
such a
yeah.
small court
Yeah.
that like everyone's gonna be used to spiking to one side where you'd be almost like a weapon, like a utility knife.
Yeah, so I think of that.
I like that call. I like it.
I also think I've only ever gone curling once, and
Yeah.
I was
No,
okay,
you'd be shit.
but
I'm not with you on that one.
hold on, I'm not even.
From the
I'm,
time he was 5, though.
I'm good at bocce, and that's similar.
All right, well, that's something you haven't brought up before. We need to play some botch because I'm a bocce
I'm a-
king.
There's a club down the street.
Yeah, but I like
25%
to
Italian.
I like to play in the elements where you got some
That's not-
undulation. some
that's not
undulation.
bocce.
That's real bocce,
No,
baby.
that's not
fucking
bocce. That's
street
like
bocce.
and one basket. Yeah, you're
That's
like
street.
Ray for Alston.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I'm Chris Paul.
Yeah, I bring bocce to the streets and I still rock it.
Yeah, I said bocce slash. There's also like a lot of like shuffleboard. I don't think that's a sport.
No,
though.
it's definitely not a sport.
But like when I'm at a bar that has a shuffleboard table, I'll run it. I'll run it.
Yeah. Brandon, do you want to go next?
Sure. I think one of mine would have been football for sure. If I had taken.
You're a big body.
Yeah,
presence.
like I'm probably too short, honestly, to play.
I think you could have played. I think you
You
could
think it would
have.
have been a lineman?
like a left guard,
Yeah, I
maybe.
think you
But I'm
could've-
probably even too short for that.
But I think you could have played like.
we maybe wouldn't have went to the NFL.
Yes.
I think,
CFL?
I think you
But
could
those-
have.
yeah.
I think you could have been at
University.
least Canadian University.
Yeah, no, I
maybe
think
a
so, too.
D3 U.S. school.
Yeah.
And that's like
I
me
don't-
never have seen you play.
But, like, I
Just
never
based
would've-
on based on your build.
Yeah, I never would want to play football either, though, just because, especially as a lineman.
Yeah,
Especially knowing all the stuff that we know now.
Knowing you two, you'd be injury prone.
Oh yeah, no, I actually would be. I totally would be.
Yeah.
But I think just like even like if you gave me the option right now where you said like if you go back and start playing football when you're 5 years old and you can play, like if you can play in the CFL, I don't think I would.
I was
do it.
taking this as like I'm like world elite level.
Me too.
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
what mine's
That's
gonna
why mine was like.
I don't have anything like that.
badminton. Well, that's why I didn't say like
you-
like hockey.
be. You
I
have
think
to
about-
like. If you have to pick something, badminton's a good pick.
Yeah.
My pick. Do you want me to give you my?
I got another one
hot-
too.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I would have been a like world champion level pro wrestler.
If you trained from the time.
Yeah,
you
if
were
I started
five.
when I was 5, just can you imagine how good at selling I would be if
Me
I
too.
started when I was
Me
5
too.
years
I
old?
didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be so.
I would be
so
the
good.
face of.
Dude, you'd be a baby face for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'd
be
you don't have
the
a
new
heel
John
bone. You don't have
Cena.
a heel bone in you.
You'd be a heel.
Yeah, but then
For
I'd be
sure.
a tweener.
I'd
That'd
be a
be-
talker. I'd be a Miz type heel.
I'd have
or
a
an
shocking,
MJF.
shocking heel turn
Yeah.
too when I finally turned.
Oh man, that's a fucking good one. I wish I went second now, because that just outdoes mine. I was gonna say
That's sports entertainment though.
Yeah, it's true. It's not really a sport.
yeah, it's a sport. It's a sport. So mine is darts. That's my not. That's my
Is that
not.
a sport?
That's my not.
Or is that a
Have
game?
you ever seen?
If shuffleboard's not a sport,
Dude, shuffleboard does not have the electricity
does not-
that
what's
you
that have
have
to do with
in
anything?
a stadium of
That's
dart players. They come out with chicks on each arm. There's people in weird costumes slamming
Is
beers.
darts
They
a
got chants.
sport?
Yeah, like
The verdict.
Oh man,
it's a game.
Ooh.
yeah. Oh, Phil Taylor.
In England, it is for sure.
Oh, Phil Taylor.
There's 6 countries that recognize it as a sport. Canada's not one
And
of
I
them.
would move to
England,
one of those. and
United States, Ireland,
dominate.
Scotland, Netherlands, Germany, Belgium.
It's all the drinkers.
Yeah.
The booze bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Get me in.
we're a big drinking country. We
But
should be in
that's a bucket list thing for me. Is like, have you
Go
ever
to sleep.
seen
Yeah.
those dart things on TV? They look so much fun.
Yeah.
There's like groups, and it looks like Oktoberfest, but like you're also watching like darts. Like they all have like huge schooners of beer. They're all dressed weird. They're just like partying. They have chants. Every player has a chant. They all have nicknames like Snakebite Pete Wright. Like,
What would yours? Do you know what yours would be?
oh man, I wish I thought of that before. That would be good. I'll give that to you next episode.
All right, I'm gonna write it in
Yeah.
the doc.
My real hot take is swimming. I'm a swimmer.
I
I'm really fast.
I'm pretty good at swimming too.
I'm
Yeah.
really fast. That's a scalding hot take because there's so many premier athletes
Yeah.
that are good at swimming. But you know what? I'm also an athlete. I'm also an offensive mind. So let's go water polo. I'll mix them.
I've never played that.
I
That
have-
looks like
I
ridiculous.
actually have.
It looks
It's
like
hard. man.
Hold, because you got to float the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
like treading water.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go water polo.
You can like hold people underwater.
Because I love sniping goals and I'm a great swimmer and I don't think I have the build to be an Olympic swimmer.
You gotta
I
be,
need-
like, tall
I
and
need
lanky.
wider shoulders. I
Yeah.
need longer arms. But I
Long
can.
hands.
I can tread water for days and I'm an offensive weapon. So I'm gonna go water polo and darts. Those are my two.
All right. Well,
And baseball's the one I wish I actually played when I was
Me
younger.
too.
Just like
I wish I
just
played
like
too.
Just like football for you.
Yeah. I don't wish I
played
played football though.
I wish I
honestly,
played
like-
baseball when I was younger. I
Ba-
think it's
basketball
so
for
much
me.
fun.
I also retrospectively wish like I wouldn't have been elite by any stretch, but like I played soccer when I was a kid and I was pretty good, but I just like like when I was 11, I was like it's not
Everyone
cool, so I
was
quit. But like I was like always like one of the best players on my team.
So was I.
So I kind of wish I just kept playing.
I feel like it's
Like-
anybody who's like decently just athletic
Yeah.
at soccer, and then like there's always a level like the
But I
people that
would've-
played soccer in high school were always the people that like made the team when all the hockey players quit.
Right.
It's like all the hockey players were like, you have to choose hockey or
But
soccer.
I would have liked to have
It's
seen
just
if
like-
I had like actually taken it seriously.
Yeah.
Like where it could have gone. But I mean, I guess you could. That's kind of where I'd like to see with like any sport, if you just focus on it. All right.
But that's why the hypothetical is so much fun.
We're getting pretty close here
Yeah.
to
You
where we
wanna
gotta
wrap
cut
it up?
Yeah, so we'll be back next week. I think next week we'll be heavy on the teeing up the Jays, but then we'll also have you're bringing your dart name. I'm putting that in the doc, so you got some homework.
Yeah, and
You could have a couple if you want.
okay, so yeah, we'll keep adding to the Google Doc. We'll have I like a hypothetical to end it off every episode. I like that.
That's good.
I like that. So
I'm
we'll have
also-
a new hypothetical for you next week.
I'm also writing our Jays record predictions in here too, so we know who's winning
Okay.
at all times.
Oh, I'm gonna get blown. They're gonna win 20 games. I'm changing my prediction
Well,
to
and
20.
you can't change it.
I'm changing it
No,
right
you
now.
can't change it.
20-40 Toronto Blue
Okay.
Jays.
And
Do you actually want to change it to that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's more likely they win 20 than it is they win 31.
the classic.
All right.
Classic.
I'm 27 and
I'm
33.
sticking to me. To mine.
38.
38.
So we got like
22,
a
baby.
very positive look,
You
a
knew I was
very
gonna be the
negative
positive,
look,
though.
and like a middle of the road.
Okay,
And I think that sums us up. I'm sensible. You guys aren't that sensible. All right.
I'm gonna try out a sign off line.
Oh my
okay?
God.
And I'm gonna have a new one every week. I want to hear
You might
from.
need to hit the soundboard.
I want to
on
hear
that.
from everybody. I want to hear from everybody. I didn't even write this.
I don't
I
know
just
what I just
thought of
did.
it now.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
Hope I didn't do anything to ruin the podcast there. I hit a button. I don't know what it did.
All right. I think it's.
I think we're all right.
We'll catch you next time. And remember, if you need someone to have your back, listen to the name on the front.
Oh
Fuck!
I was gonna
It didn't come off
the
as well.
trombone.
It didn't come off as well. In my head, I was like, "This is gonna be good," and then I was just like,
That was good.
"Yeah, oh fuck."
All right. Well, we'll
No,
try it again next
Yeah,
week.
we're gonna workshop it.
That was a good-
We're gonna workshop it. We're gonna clean it up, and we're gonna hit you next week.
All right.
Thanks, guys.